Okay, so before we begin, well, actually we have begun. That's a weird thing to say. But before we go on, okay, I do want to acknowledge you for being here. And that may not seem like a big deal to you. However, I'd like you to take the view it is a big deal. Because for one thing, notice not everyone is here. And I don't mean just not everyone who's registered in the seminar isn't here. I mean, not everyone is here. You know, like not everyone on the planet is in a conversation about integrity. Not everyone is here. So although it might not seem a big deal to you that it's here, I invite you to consider it is a big deal. And to acknowledge yourself for that. If for no reason your being here is a big deal because in the world we live in, you are one of the few people that are actively working on your own transformation and the transformation of life itself and the transformation of others. And that is a big deal. You know, not everybody's in that conversation. And in the game of transformation, like in all the big games of life, sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that with whatever you're struggling with. You know, whatever you're up against, whatever you're confronting, whatever's come up for you in your participation in the seminar, whatever breakdowns that you've had in your participation, it's easy to lose sight of what you've actually accomplished and the accomplishment that is to be here. And sometimes our view of ourselves and of our lives is colored more by our breakdowns than it's colored by our accomplishments. You know, like our view of ourselves can be colored more by our breakdowns than by our accomplishments. And people are often very hard on themselves. Nobody in this room, right? But people are, no, not the person standing up here. People are often very hard on themselves. So how many of you can actually see that it's your tendency to have your struggles color your view of yourself? Your struggles, your breakdowns color your view of yourself rather than your accomplishments. How many of you can actually see that for yourself? Yeah, it's like part of the condition of being human. You know, we want to focus on all the things that don't work. Now, in this seminar, we actually have been driving up things that don't work, but that wasn't for you to feel bad about yourself. You know, that was to shine a light on it so you could actually have the opportunity to take a different action, to create something new for your life. So confronting one's integrity is one of the most challenging things a human being can do. You know, and you're in a seminar where that's what you're dealing with for 3 months. And only people of courage and of commitment are up for that kind of a challenge. And I say that's who you are, because you're here. So if you weren't people that were up for challenge and for commitment and for transformation, you wouldn't be here. So whatever space you are in your participation in the seminar really is fine. You know, and I say that almost every session, but really here at this time, whatever space you're in really is fine. The seminar is about being able to be powerful with anything, including your own experiences. You know, like our experiences of life aren't always positive. They're not always, you know, rah-rah, isn't this great? But if you could be with any experience, including the ones that are, you know, negative, then you really can be with anything. You know, just like when I woke up yesterday morning and walked into the office and it's like, oh my gosh, what have I done with my life? You know? But then to not be, you know, I was disempowered for whatever period of time I was disempowered by. But you know what got me empowered? I pulled this out. And I read this session, and that was the most empowering thing I could have possibly done for myself. You know, not to sit around and wallow in it, or wallow in your own negative experience. You know, but to actually acknowledge yourself for the courageous person that you are, to even be in this conversation to begin with. All right, so whatever space you may be in right now, I invite you to have this session colored by what you've accomplished and what you're up to. You know, even if you're sitting there saying, well, I haven't really accomplished much, I haven't really produced any results. Okay, I'd invite you to consider that's not the case, and even if it is, then have your session be colored by what you're up to. Have your session be colored by what you're committed to, and have that be what you're here for. Not some disempowered view of yourself, which will make no difference. All right, so anything anyone wants to say about what you hear in that for yourself? Yeah, Teresa.
So this is along the lines of what I said the first night. So I just want to confirm what he's saying, that it's not just because he's a seminar leader. Like I said the first night, we couldn't do this without each other. So it's very important that you're here. So again, I want to thank you. Ooh, getting moved. I want to thank you for being here. And I mean each and every one of you, and including Dave and assistants in the back. I'm just gonna look at everybody. You know, we walk around in life not letting our loved ones know how important they are to us. And so I just want to say, again, thank you. And each one of you, you're very important to me. Okay? So, ditto. It takes courage to be in that seat and look at your life and your relationships and where you're disempowered and where you can be empowered. And like he said, not everybody in the world is doing this, okay? Not everybody is confronting their life, okay? And walking out in the world and making a difference by doing that. So, again, ditto, thank you. You're important to me, each and every one of you.
Great. And Teresa, did you get acknowledged? Did you get acknowledged? Did you get the acknowledgement for yourself? I got your acknowledging everyone, and you're acknowledging me, and you acknowledged the people in the back room, and did you get acknowledged?
You know, it brings me back to the first time I understood what that meant, that this is courage.
Yeah.
You know, like when I did the Landmark Forum, and I had been estranged from my family for 12 years, and I sat there believing what I thought about my dad, you know, believing that what I thought about him was the truth. And so for the first time, to have another point of view about my dad, the extraordinary possibility that was, and I was able to create a relationship with him, and forum leaders, you know, said, wow, that takes a lot of courage. I was like, what's that mean? But I got it. It takes courage to even consider that what you think is a truth is not possibly the truth. There's another point of view, another possible point of view that could be empowering. That's not just, it sounds kind of minute. Oh, it could be empowering. No, I'm talking about a whole new life, okay? When you can let go of what you think is the truth, a whole world is available.
Yeah, and is that the case for you?
Yeah.
Like even right now, is that the case for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, is a senior graduate, right? Is, you know, there's a few people in here. This is not your first seminar. You've been around the block a few times, been to the rodeo. Like it takes something to where's Jim up? It takes something to generate that. You know, and not have it just recede into the background and become something that you know, but to be here with that kind of commitment. You know, like listen, you don't think I deal with breakdowns? I walk up, you know, it's like every time I have somebody communicate that they're not going to be at their session, or I walk up here and there's, you know, half the seats are empty at 7 o'clock. It's like, you don't think the thought going through my head is, holy cow, this is really wrong. I have really messed something up here. I got to deal with that every session, you know, but where I'm dealing with it from is, I made a promise. So one person not here is a breakdown, you know, but I got to generate that every time, not as a moral, there's something wrong, but no, I'm not fulfilling what I said I would for each and every person. You know, just like for you, you got to bring that newness every time. You got to keep generating. Yeah, this is courage. You know, and I'm taking this on for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a senior graduate, you know, my life's not perfect either. I mean, I have a sister that's not talking to me. So, just because I've been participating for 25 years, whatever it is, you know, I still get, you know, like I'm stuck
Yeah, I
in
got
that
it. So,
relationship.
so thank you for being here in the face of that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right.